Well, intellectual property or IP rights are indeed valuable assets for businesses, possibly among the most crucial that they possess. But what exactly are they and why are they so important, particularly for SMEs and companies that might want to start exporting their products well beyond our borders? Well, joining us now from our Cape Town studios is an intellectual property rights expert currently doing her PhD in this subject area. Moyo, thanks for joining us this afternoon and welcome to the SABC News Desk.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you very much for having me this afternoon.
You're very welcome.
What a lovely day in Cape Town.
And a lovely day in Johannesburg as well.
Yes.
Nancy, let's get into it. Just briefly explain to us what exactly intellectual property rights are and why is it so important in the country at this juncture?
Thank you very much. Intellectual property rights, these are innovations, these are inventions that individuals or organizations come up with. Could they be literacy? Could they be copyright issues? Could they come into play as plant variety protection? Could it be our culture? Now, how does it make us have that money? There are systems in each and every country that are placed, the legal systems, whereby we have to follow them in registering our intellectual property rights. These inventions don't have to come out into the public domain unprotected because there are unscrupulous people out there who are really looking forward to using them at the expense of all the research and development that will have been done.
Nancy, when it comes to small businesses in the country, which really becomes the heartbeat of the economy, how should they best protect these intellectual property rights? And more importantly, how do we start to raise awareness within these sectors of the economy?
Yes, SMEs are the driving engine for any economic situation in any country. They are the driving force, they are the intellects. When the research and development institutions in our countries come up with inventions and they have prototypes, SMEs are free to utilize them. Is it because the institutions cannot make more money than us? No. They come up with these inventions for the benefits of SMEs. So when SMEs utilize these engines and they want to benefit more, not for themselves but also for the economy, we encourage SMEs to visit mostly the global databases, Google for instance, on your phone, rather than WhatsApp and Facebook and Twitter. That is very good. Find out about your logo first. Is it protected? Is somebody else using it? Is it similar to what somebody has somewhere? You need to protect your business because you want to get the greater advantage to it. South Africa is already in the BRICS and is competing at a very competitive market. And what we're really encouraging SMEs is, let's formalize the legal implications that when we do not protect our intellectual property rights, are they safe out there? Are we still going to earn what we'll have put in place? When you talk about your business plan, you say, I have a 50-year plan. Does your product have that 50-year plan, or in the first year or second year, someone will get hold of your information and utilize it? Is it going to benefit the country? Who is it going to benefit? What we are talking about here are crucial issues where we have put our landscape at a global state. Have we found out enough information about our competitors? We are competing at an international level, a greater market that we look forward to. But are we going to get a bigger margin from it? Let's look, for instance, when we talk about patent protection. Have we gone to the company's intellectual property commission to regulate the processes? Have you submitted what you claim your product can do? We have come up with a technological product to serve a technological problem in the economy. Is it protected? Have you submitted those claim forms? Have you provided enough and sufficient information that someone skilled in the art could reproduce the same? A patent goes for a protection of 10 years. In 10 years' time, we are not saying you are going to keep what you have produced. We are saying there is need to commercialize within those 10 years. In 10 years, you can license other companies to use the product. You can earn more money when you continue to mass produce for an industry. For other people, you continue to get your money back. When we talk about patent protection going into the public domain, what are we talking about? After 10 years, the patent expires and everyone else can have access to it. When they access it, there is a cost to it. Where does that cost come in? Intellectual property valuation of assets comes into play. When you were doing your business plan, all the information was there. What amount of money did you talk about your products now in bulk? Let's see where the money spins. A 50-year project.
Nonsi.
And you're looking at big money. Innovation, technology, entrepreneurship, is it expanding enough for you to get the capital gains?
Nonsi, if there is an SME out there that's listening to you right now and feels strongly that his or her intellectual property rights have been trampled or violated, what kind of legal recourse would be available to him or her? And how affordable and affordability of these legal costs, of course, coming into question now, seeing that South Africa, we still have one of the most exorbitant legal costs on the globe, on the planet right now.
Thank you very much. That's a beautiful question indeed. When we look at enforcement of intellectual property rights, what we are looking at, does the company, first of all, has the intellectual property policy in place? Because when you go for a legal wrangle, you are not going with a piece of paper. You are going with a piece of a file that contains vital information that has to save your empire. Now, what happens? In South Africa, we have intellectual property rights attorneys. We have very good judges like Judge Helms. Know your legal people. Are they experienced to fight such a similar case? I'll juxtapose with a case study. Apple and Samsung, the lawyers were so good. They know the value of their asset, which is the mobile phone. They charged it so well, throwing 5 billion into each other's eyes. Now you are looking at your product. Are you going to win a case? How long is it going to take? Do you have the financial muscle? Protecting intellectual property rights is crucial, as I said earlier on, because you get back the money that belongs to you. An unscrupulous person uses information to benefit from you, and you have to take every dollar out of that person because they have spent what is not theirs. The legal instruments in South Africa, I like them. If you go to the World Intellectual Property Organization website, they have legal strategies for each and every country that are listed there. South Africa has protected from its patent. They have the Patent Act, they have the Merchandisers Act, all the way to the Plant Variety Protection Act. It covers all sectors of the economy. As a business person, the most important thing to do is be well versed with all these legal instruments. And it will save you a lot because knowledge is power. And when you go to court with knowledge, you can surpass what the unscrupulous person had to do to kill or destroy your organization. Besides, there are more issues which are bending in intellectual property rights. Our employees, our competitors, are we putting enough written documentation to protect our information? Subcontractors, contracting companies. We need to legalize all these formations. And it's very, very critical.
Nonsi, we want to try and internationalize this for a moment. There's a lot of focus on intra-Africa trade on the continent. And with this in mind, how do the intellectual property systems vary from nation to nation? And what kind of risk does this bring for an exporter, just for an example?
Thank you. That's a good question. Our SMEs need to be made aware of these important systems. When someone is going offshore, they have to legalize from within, in their country, through the company's intellectual property rights office. They also have to seek very good legal advice. We have attorneys like Adams and Adams here in South Africa. They give advice on what is the procedure for intellectual property protection. You want to go to the European market, you have to know which particular market requires your product. You protect your trademark, your patents, you protect your industrial designs, make your copyright systems be in place before you go abroad. In that way, you are protecting, you are showing them that even if if you want to build also investor confidence, have intellectual property policies in place. Recently at a conference held with the United States of America Embassy in Zimbabwe, they were talking about, did you know that we have economists who are skilled and who give up-to-date information regarding intellectual property rights in the region? And all the countries of the world, when we want our investors to have handy information before they come to your countries, they want to see if you have legalized. And it's unfortunate that most of the African countries have not taken heed of that.
Nonsi Moyo, our intellectual rights expert, joining us from our Cape Town studios.